Hi friends! We are in full summer mode over here, and before we get too far into summer and before we start talking about next year's curriculum, I wanted to update you a bit and reflect on how this past homeschool year has gone for us. Before we get too far in, I did want to say this is a collaboration hosted by Davene from Calm in the Chaos Homeschool and Shauna from Homegrown Homeschool. I will link both of their channels down below. Please hop over and say hello to them. I will also link the playlist down below that is going to be full of many families, mamas coming on and just updating you and reflecting on the previous homeschool year. So hop on down after you've watched my video, click that playlist link. And yes, I'm interested to watch as well and looking forward to seeing some updates and reflections on many of the other families that I have grown to care for here on YouTube. So if you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Erin. I am a homeschool mom to 3 kids, ages 10, 8, and 4. We just rounded out our 5th year of homeschooling. So we are in full summer swing over here. We are thoroughly enjoying our family time, extra friend time, all of those things that we have quickly jumped into. And yeah, so today's video is just a reflection on how the past homeschool year went. I think it's a good thing to update everyone just to let you know how things went that I maybe talked about in the beginning of the year or have promoted halfway through the year. All those sorts of things are nice to be able to have a final update on at the end of the year to actually know how those things went and how they actually were applied and went for a family similar to ours, and did it work, did it not work? So we're going to touch on a few of those things. We're not going to go over everything because I just feel like I would have you here all day if we did that. So I'm going to kind of pick and choose some highlights and some I wouldn't say that we had any major misses this year. There wasn't anything we used that was a complete bomb. But I will just kind of mention the things that became super important and super at the top of our list, because we had a move at the beginning of our school year. We moved homes, so that was a major, not speed bump, but I guess you could say that a little bit in the daily flow for us on many days. So let's talk a bit about how all of those things went. If you have any further questions about anything I touch on, please don't hesitate to leave your questions down below. I'm happy to help as best as I can. So let's get started. Let me first off say, I already mentioned my children's ages. So I have a child that just finished 4th grade, 2nd grade, and then my youngest did preschool things loosely. And I say that because I don't push anything. She's only 4, so I don't push anything strictly at that age yet. Next year, a little bit more so, but again, I'm not super strict about preschool. So the main learning ages that were completed this year were 4th, so 10-year-old in 4th grade, and an 8-year-old completing 2nd grade. So I posted at the beginning of the year our group curriculum picks, 2nd grade curriculum picks, 4th grade curriculum picks. I also did a preschool chat video. I won't be talking much about preschool today, but I'll be talking about group 4th grade, 2nd grade, and some other new things that we added in maybe midway through the year that were not mentioned in those videos. I will link those videos down below. Again, I'm not going to touch on every single subject that I talked about in those videos, but I will link them down below. I did go back and skim over those videos just to remember what I did talk about. If you're interested in watching those, click them from down below. And again, ask me any questions that you may have if I missed something. So let's first talk about some new things that we incorporated this year that we really enjoyed and that we really used well and that went really well for us. So from that video that I posted at the beginning, some of the newer things we incorporated were flight unit study. This was my oldest, my son, who completed 4th grade. He did complete the flight unit study. I also had mentioned another aviation unit. We did not start that one at all, but this one was stretched throughout the whole entire school year, and this was wonderful. He thoroughly enjoyed this. He was pretty independent with this. This is the notebook that he ended up compiling after the whole unit study was completed. This is a neat little keepsake that will go in his bin and stick with him in his filing. So this was wonderful. Highly recommend unitstudy.com. Amanda Bennett is the author of this unit study, and it was fantastic. Highly recommend. We also completed the story of the Bible from A to Z from Daily Grace Co. I had mentioned 2 at the beginning of the year. We only completed 1, along with Easy Peasy Bible, poets, and I can't think now what the actual course was called, but we did the Easy Peasy Bible study along with this. We just kind of did both hand in hand. One day we'd do one day we'd do the other. So we completed 1. I like the Daily Grace Co. Everything that I have found and used from them so far has been wonderful. We also, for the first time this year, used the handwriting books from The Good and the Beautiful. Check. The kids like them. They love them. They love the little artwork at the end of each lesson. So we will use them again going forward next year. Doodles and handwriting from The Good and the Beautiful for Eden, my youngest, we used. She didn't complete all the pages, but she enjoyed doing them as she wanted to, and I would recommend them as well. Some things we added in this year that I did not talk about at the beginning: The Good and the Beautiful musical multiplication. That was a fun thing that we did all together. My oldest, my youngest, my middle, everyone loved those. We would play the songs all together. They each had their own little book to flip through. That was a good addition. Also, World Watch was a new addition for us this year. If you are not familiar with World Watch, it is a daily, so Monday through Friday, a daily news video that is posted. It is a Christian organization, so it's from a Christian perspective, but it's a very unbiased opinion as far as political views. It's very honest. It gives you warnings if there's a story that may be a little sensitive to younger viewers, so you can use that as a teaching moment, or you can choose to skip over it, whatever you choose to do. But it's wonderful. That's been a very, very fun addition this year for us. We would watch at lunchtime. My husband comes home for lunch, so we would all watch together as a family. It would prompt many good conversations and many good learning points. So definitely recommend World Watch News as well. And then Explode the Code we added in, which I don't think I talked about at the beginning of the year. That was an addition that we would use here and there to kind of fill in just when extra things were needed. And then some things that I talked about that we didn't end up using much or at all. The Spanish flashcards I talked about, we didn't end up really using at all. And then the states and capitals from JDA, I had talked about that at the beginning of the year. I got them laminated and halfway cut out, and then we ended up starting to pack up everything to move, and that just got pushed to the very bottom of the priority list. So we did not use that at all. I'm not saying that we wouldn't have or that it's a miss. It didn't become a priority for us. So we didn't end up using that at all. And then also Skillshare. I've talked about Skillshare for the past 2 years, and we did not use Skillshare much this year. My son used it for Spanish, but probably about half of the year. And besides that, we didn't really use it. So I do not think I will be continuing my Skillshare subscription going forward. Not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just not really fitting into our family structure at this point. Honestly, I feel like a lot of things that you can find on YouTube that are wonderful and helpful and educational. Of course, you have the ads on YouTube at that point versus Skillshare, you do not have ads. So, but for us, I feel like for what we use it for and what we need, YouTube for right now will be what we will be using for this upcoming year as far as those things. And then our daily, weekly group subjects that we used and that were great and wonderful: Easy Peasy Earth Science, Easy Peasy Ancient History, Music, Art, and Health. All of those things, we got through all of those courses. There were lessons here and there that we did not use. Some weeks we would just do maybe 4 days of learning as far as the curriculum, and then the 5th day would be maybe just some outside learning as far as field trips or things like that. Music, art, and health, we did not get to every single of those lessons or every single lesson, but I kind of had to pick and choose some weeks what we would do from there. With the move, certain things became a priority, and I was okay with kind of filling in those things as needed. But wonderful courses, definitely recommend, nothing wrong with them. The one thing I love about Easy Peasy is that it's so easy to make it work for your family structure, for your family routine, and maybe the position that your family might be in. We've used it over the past few years and we'll continue to use it because it just works so well. Let's see, Zoe's 2nd grade curriculum, math, language arts, reading were all a check mark, completed, wonderful. Things that we did not use so much were the thinking course from Easy Peasy. I think maybe she did 1 week. Piano also died off after probably the first month of school in our move. We did not pick back up with that. We may next year. The kids have talked about it, so we will see how that goes. And then also Skillshare for her, we really did not do much. And then for Easton, his 4th grade curriculum picks that I talked about, math, language arts, reading, all check marks for him. The flight unit study was wonderful. I did talk about 2 at the beginning of the year, but we only completed 1 unit study, but it was great. And then also he used Skillshare for Spanish for probably about half the year. He was very independent with that. But again, I don't think we will be continuing with Skillshare next year. We have some different plans as far as Spanish for him. And then his computer course I talked about through Easy Peasy at the beginning of the year. He did 1 or 2 lessons there. He's very versed in the computer and navigating his computer. He does very well with it. That was just kind of an extra that we added in that we didn't end up accessing with just completing what was necessary in those first few months. And then also piano for him, unfortunately, died off at the beginning of the year when we started packing everything up. So I think that was everything the big things that I talked about at the beginning of the year, the things we added in that I wanted to address. I will link those early curriculum pick videos down below. Again, if you have any questions, if I very quickly brushed over anything that you may have further questions about, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm happy to help as best as I can. In the next few weeks, I will be posting curriculum picks for the upcoming school year. I'm still thinking through some things, ordering some things, so stay tuned for those. I will post those within the next few weeks if you're interested in knowing what we decided for next year. And yeah, again, any questions, please drop them down below. Please go visit Davene from Calm in the Chaos Homeschool and Shauna from Homegrown Homeschool. They have been so thoughtful in hosting this collaboration, so please go say hello to them. Thank you both for hosting, and click on that playlist that is linked down below as well, and you will see lots of other mamas hopping on, just reflecting on the past homeschool year and how things went for them. So thank you for being here if you've watched all the way to the end, and we will talk very, very soon. Happy summer to y'all. Hope you are enjoying the little bit of break and little bit of downtime. I know we are. So again, thanks for being here, and we'll talk soon.